Hello, you are listening to the Lifted to Life by Dana B podcast. I am Dana B. This podcast is not just about self-care, it's about discovering your authentic self. Back up and breathe when things get overwhelming. Well, it's that time of year. No, not the holiday season. It's that time of year when things get hella chaotic on my job. The end of the fiscal year is coming, so everything is due at the end of September. Everything. Roughly every action is a priority. Customers are emailing me, asking me for the status of their contracts, their modifications, and task orders. Some have even come to my cubicle claiming to see if I need anything. But what they really are doing is checking on the status of their actions. Now, with it getting closer to the end of the fiscal year comes performance reviews of all things. Just to add a little more stress to my day, let's talk about how I've been performing this past year, as if I need to do that like right now. So I recently had my performance review with my division chief. And the first question that she asked me was, how are you feeling? I took a deep breath. And I wanted to think about my answer before responding. And more importantly, I wanted to answer her honestly versus the old me would have just said whatever she wanted to hear. So before I could answer, she said, listen, I know that you've taken on a lot, especially with all that is going on under this current administration. So many people had opted to take the deferred resignation. She then thanked me for having a positive attitude and adjusting to all the changes. Then she asked once again, how are you feeling? So I responded and I said, I'm feeling good. I'm not overwhelmed because I've learned to push back and take a breather. I've learned to get up from my desk, go for a quick stroll, look out the window, get some fresh air, just to avoid being overwhelmed. So despite all the changes, not only with the current administration, I've had to deal with so many people taking the deferred resignation into early retirement or looking for new job opportunities. So before this mass exodus of so many of my coworkers, I had to pray. I really had to pray because I was watching so many people, so many of my colleagues were leaving the agency and thinking to myself, man, this is about to get interesting. And God simply told me to be still. He also told me that things are going to seem difficult. He said that it's going to get frustrating. He said you'll be taking on a lot. He told me to trust him during this time, to put my hands in his hand, and he will guide me, to let him take the lead and understand that my focus on things that I can control and not bother with the things that I cannot. So as the meeting with my division chief went on and I gave her my honest response, I told her that I've learned a lot in this posture. I told her that I've had to adjust to her leadership style because, as you know, people lead differently. My former team lead, she led from the back. My division chief, she leads from all sides like a first sergeant commanding a battalion or platoon. And I shared with her how I'm learning a lot more under this new leadership. Now, don't get me wrong. When these changes happened, I was frightened. And I came with the understanding that change can be frightening. Change can cause anger in some cases, anxiety. Sometimes you have to embrace the change. Some change is good. So today, one of my colleagues came to my cubicle and asked if I'm taking breaks and standing up throughout the day. Hell yeah! I am the queen of backing up and breathing. I've shared with a number of my colleagues, listen, when 5:30 comes, I shut it down. I don't think about anything pertaining to my job. Once I cross the threshold outside, the last thing I'm thinking about is my workload. I'm thinking about what I'm going to make for dinner when I get home. I'm thinking about watching my favorite shows when I get home. Once I cross the threshold of my place, my home, I am not thinking about my job. When I'm home, I don't mention work. I do all that I can to avoid feeling overwhelmed. I back up and I breathe. So how do you handle feeling overwhelmed? Do you react in a negative way? Do you send your blood pressure through the roof? Do you take your frustrations out on people around you? Do you look for substances to help you cope? So what are some ways to avoid being overwhelmed? The first thing is back up and breathe. Next is divide large tasks or problems into smaller, manageable ones. This helps to reduce cognitive overload and gives you a sense of progress. Make a list of must, should, could. What's urgent and important to you? Say no to the things that aren't important to you. Cut down on news, social media, and unnecessary email notifications. When I tell you, backing away, deleting that TikTok app has been such a relief, such a level of renewal, rejuvenation. My cognitive thinking is on point. I'm not distracted by the nonsense on social media. I'm more focused, not only on my workload and my professional life, but my personal life as well. Use time blocks. Set blocks of time for specific tasks with breaks in between. Now, I am a big fan of using the timer on my Apple Watch or my phone. So I use this technique often. I will set the timer, especially during a work day. I will set the timer for 30 to 60 minutes. And all that entire time, I'm focused on that task. Nothing to distract me, nothing to keep me from getting that work done. 30 minutes to an hour, I'm locked in on that one task. And when that timer goes off, I back up and I breathe. I get up, grab a snack, stretch my legs, go for a quick walk, and then I start that process over again, resetting my timer 30 to 60 minutes and focusing on a new task. It is a method that definitely works. Avoid back-to-back commitments. Leave space for transitions. One of the things that I used to do, and I don't do this anymore, is schedule meetings, and I would leave one meeting and then I have to go into another meeting. Leave that meeting, go into another meeting. I had to stop doing that because, first of all, I was taking notes, but then after a while I was really getting bad at taking notes. So I would lose my train of thought thinking back when I would get to my cubicle, like, what did I say? Or what did this person say? Didn't write it down. So I realized that scheduling meetings, and say if the meeting is an hour, scheduling the next meeting 30 minutes to an hour later. That way I can get myself decompressed from that meeting, write down any notes for the next meeting, and to be more prepared for that next meeting and not feeling overwhelmed and just taking a beat 30 to a couple hours before that next meeting begins. Do a brain dump. Offload everything in your mind onto paper or a note app. Hashtag journaling. This helps to clear mental clutter and shows you what really needs attention. Breathe and move. Even after your timer has gone off for 30 to 60 minutes after focusing on that task, back up and take 4 deep breaths. Breathing deeply into your diaphragm and out. Taking short walks. If you have a standing desk, use that standing desk. I definitely take advantage of my standing desk inside my cubicle. Give your body a good stretch. to get that blood flowing, get that nervous system moving. Sleep, stay hydrated, and eat well. Prioritize a consistent sleep and healthy fuel pattern. Now, my friends and my family will tell you that I take my sleep seriously. They will jokingly call me an old lady because during the week, my bedtime is at 9:30. Don't play with me. They know not to call me after 9:30 p.m. Now, if someone calls me after 9:30 p.m., child, it better be an emergency. When people call me after 9:30 p.m., if you've ever seen the movie Emperor's New Groove, and I believe the character Yzma, who's played by Eartha Kitt, and one of the character wakes her up out of her sleep and she says, "This better be good." And that's exactly what I say when people call me after 9:30. I answer the phone and I say, "This better be good." Last but not least, talk it out with a friend, colleague, coach, or therapist. Speaking your worries out loud can help you get clarity and calm. Yes, it does. There have been times where I've had a coworker, one of my coworkers that I go to, and she will talk me off a ledge because I will be like a powder keg about to burst. And I'm glad that she is one that I can vent to because she truly has a slow to speak and quick to listen ideal. So what steps do you take to help you when you're feeling overwhelmed? One of the most important things to do is to back up and breathe. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I appreciate you so much. Remember to like, share, and comment on this podcast. Email me at liftedtolife@gmail.com. I really enjoy reading your emails. I'll see you next week. Have a great one.